Oh, why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, how very good it is to see you, and welcome back to another episode of Nosh's Quest to Gold. And that was an epic split, can I just say. Now, it's been a very long time since I've seen you, and there is a very good reason for that, but before we jump straight into that reason, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself and my opponent in this PvZ on Entomb Valley. Up the top left is myself, Nosh. I am the red Protoss player. I'm the gentleman who is talking to you now and is about to give you a long and complicated apology as to why this is the first video I'm posting in about a month. Up in the top right hand side is my Zerg opponent, whose name is DinRecords. He's the blue opponent, I'm the red opponent. This is Entomb Valley, this is a PvZ in Nosh's Quest to Gold. Just as a side note, if this wasn't a silver game, I would probably assume that Din would be like a clan name, or a team name, or a clean name, or a tan name, but it's not, because it's silver, so it's maybe his shop or something. Little extractor trick there, he's definitely going hatch first. Now, I have not recorded anything in about a month. I tried, believe me, internets, I tried to record things for a long time, but my computer exploded in the face. It went wrong, it turned inside out, it flat out died. My computer ceased to be. On top of that, I've managed to lose pretty much every file I've ever had on my computer, on my hard drive since about 2004. Including every single one of these videos that I had, previously recorded, including all the replays that I'd saved to record. Everything is gone. On top of that, I've had to replace parts and things. It's been a long and laborious and complicated process, but all you need to worry about is I'm back. This dirty Zerg went hatch first. It's PvZ, so you all know what's gonna happen. You actually notice my probe's not rallied to do the correct thing. He's away to check another base, because he's a silly probe. Probe, go back. The guy was back there, you've seen his base. Probe's gonna go back. Fist bump this little drone. Let's have a look at Nosh's base and see his standard opener. You'll see my gateway, you'll see my cyber core, you'll see my pylon, you'll see my assimilator, everything as standard, even the chronos on the Nexus at around 20 supply apparently. But anyway, more about you. How have you been? How have you been? It's been too long, and I had so many plans as well. I'm so depressed that I've not had a chance to play StarCraft. I've played this one match, and then I've decided to cast it to talk to you. I really wanted to cast games from the MLG Winter Arena. I watched that live one night. Actually, I watched that live 3 nights, to be honest, and it was amazing, and I really enjoyed it. And it was great to see MKP kick DRG's ass in the final. That's not exciting, why am I showing this? And I got, all the replays, as did a bunch of people, and I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mix it up. I'm not only going to do Nosh's Quest to Gold, I'm also going to do Nosh Casts MLG, and I was going to pick 4 players from the MLG circuit, the Winter circuit. I was going to pick Marine King Prime, Huck, Naniwa, and the Muslim, and I was going to follow their journey through the entire competition, and show you their games and talk about commentary and cast something that wasn't my own games for a change. I was really looking forward to that, but then, as I say, my computer turned inside out and upside down and everything went wrong, and it was a bad day. Now, my opponent, jumping back into the match here, has dropped his Roach Warren. I don't know whether he's expecting early aggression, but he should be. My probe's laying in wait to place this proxy pylon just down the bottom of the map here, and as you can see, I've just started gateway number 4 in a very strange position of, it's like an upside down L shape of gateways. Now, 4 gate against a fast expanding Zerg is what I'm going for. This was a safe idea in my head, because these days I'd like to forge fast expand. I'd like to maybe try and aim for a macro game, but I hadn't played in like forever and I was scared I'd lose. So 4 gate was the plan. Now you can see I've got just a little clip of this ledge. You've seen me do it before in another couple of replays, or maybe I recorded them and didn't upload them to YouTube because my computer broke, but I had a replay where I did exactly this tactic. I'm going to push the ramp with a bunch of units, bow, and the probe's going to run up here, I'm a probe, and he's going to hide out here so that I can warp up onto the high ground, kill his expansion, kill him in the face, and win the fucking game. Now, unfortunately, that little splotch there was a drone who was moving across the map, who's just seen these 5 dudes coming. Din himself has responded with a spine crawler and a bunch of roaches, Without that scouting information, he wouldn't know that this push was coming, so he wouldn't be as well prepared for it, and I wouldn't catch him quite as off guard as I would like. Do you have enough? There you go, good boy. There we go. So a bunch of roaches are coming out, more roaches are coming out, spine's almost complete. My push hasn't started yet. I'd like to see me, I'm waiting for another round of warpins, that's fair enough. I'd like to see me round the ramp now, but at the moment it is looking a bit late. Fair enough, Din's just gone and got himself a couple of overlords, but he can see this coming now. More roaches are coming, but the push is underway. Here we go, Zealots in the front, straight up in the roach's face. Stalkers right in behind them for some reason, just targeting down that spine crawler. I'm going to lose a bunch of Zealots. I'm actually going to lose all my Zealots here, but I decide to force field the ramp. I've already Guardian Shield as well, so you can see that I have absolutely no energy left in my sentry. We're pushing in, we've managed to hold off these two roaches up here, which means the forces have been kind of separated for Din. Gives me the chance to target fire, and I'm just taking out the roaches one by one. That was kind of a strange move there, though. This one was in low health. I don't see why I did that. Another 4 Zealots and the probe are coming in. As you see, as I said, the probe splits off, is ignored by these two roaches, and the Zealots are making light work of things. Din does a nice job of pulling away his 2 roaches that are about to die. I, kill a couple of drones here, a couple of drones there, and then start working in the hatchery. Back down here, you can see that I'm warping in the Zealots, like I said I would, on the high ground, just to make sure I can get more reinforcements, whereas at the same time I'm actually going to sacrifice these 4 high expensive super gas units, including this little sentry who has almost enough energy to not get himself fucking killed for absolutely no reason, while my dudes down here run up to sacrifice their selves as well into a large number of roaches and drones. Now, it was a nice pull from Din. He pulled his dudes off the line. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see a guy who wants to take care of his forces, especially because I clearly don't, That's a good number of roaches there. That is 8 roaches, and that's 1 Zealot. I don't really see what's happening. Oh, I see. I hate larvae. That's just fine. Another warp in. As you can see, I love overcommitting to attacks that clearly aren't going to work. Looking at the units, I'm going to be running 6, 7 units up into 8. But the reason for this isn't to win the game. Now I've established I can't win the game. I just need to bring enough units down here so that I can pressure Din, keep him in his base, and get my own base started. That's the plan right now. Again, I don't like that I keep running up the ramp. I am trying to pressure him, running back and forward. As you can see, there goes the Nexus back at home. That's me drop my natural. And as the time I do that, I decide, you know what? Cut my losses and pull everything back. Din, he's not sure. He has no vision of the ground. He's pulling all his roach forces up. He's just making sure he's defended up here. He's completely stopped making workers. There's 2 unnecessary spine crawlers, so I've done a good amount of damage. If you actually have a quick look, we're looking at 16 drones to 27 probes. Behind all that, I still managed to push out a couple of probes. If I remember what workers killed buttons is, I don't do, excuse me, Control R. Panicking. D, Control R, don't look, don't judge me. There you go, 12 workers killed for Nosh. A good effort in the end. Back to production. There we go. Shh, you saw nothing. That was smooth. There we go. Now Din's moving down. You see that repetitive clicking. He's like, shit, rebuild my hatchery. But my Nexus is almost finished, so I'm going to be 1 base up on my opponent. And a quick look at the army supply. He is quite ahead. If he pushes out and attacks now, he might stand a chance. But I don't know if you noticed, I warped in these 4 sentries back at home who are now, quite a bit of energy ahead. So I've got force fields. I'm getting a little wall off coming with those 2 gateways there, and I'm transferring over some workers into my base. Now I've gone and been a bad guy. I've actually pre-watched this replay so I can talk about it. I know that this part of the this part of this matchup isn't going to be terribly exciting, so I'm just going to talk to you some more about me and life and how things are going. Now don't get me wrong, I'm fantastic. I've had a great time, even though my computer went and blew up. During that time, I managed to watch MLG, the Winter Championship, with my best friend Chris. We sat, we drank a lot of beers, we watched a lot of StarCraft. I stabbed him with a fork. It was some good times. And I've really been missing StarCraft a lot. I actually today almost bought I almost bought a GSL premium subscription so that I could watch GSL as well, but then I decided that paying $20 a month or close to £100 for a year subscription is fucking ridiculous, and it's not money I can afford to spend because I'm planning on moving house. So I didn't spend any money because that would just be bad. And I'm just going to try and play some more StarCraft for you guys, and I'm going to try and cast some more StarCraft for you guys, whether it's my own games or whether it's pro games or something, I don't know. I don't know, we'll see. I think I'm going to cast some pro games because I just love casting and I love talking about the game. I love, you know, just analysing my own play. I don't know if my cynical and slightly sarcastic play would really work analysing pros though. I mean, perhaps you can tell me what you think, because I feel, I don't know, it's kind of, Jesus, look at that fucking pro bleed. It's kind of heavily sarcastic, and pros are, you know, pros. I can't really turn around and be like, oh, look at him losing all his units. Oh, what a noob. He's code-ass noob. Right, Din sees me kill the rocks. He should see that I'm going for a third. Oh, time will tell. Also, another thing to comment on in this map, you might have noticed when I was forgetting with my starting pylon, that I panic. And I warp in a round of units, and then I warp in a round of units, and then I try and warp in the next round of units because I need them now. I need the units now, and I'm supply blocked. And I only have one probe hotkeyed, and it's the guy that's hanging out here. So what do? Build 3 fucking pylons in the middle of goddamn nowhere. Now, this may come back to bite me in the ass, it might not. We'll see. Now, Din has gone and he's made himself a spire. He's getting his roach... not his roach speed, his ling speed. Excuse me, my phone went there. I myself am moving to sort of defend this kind of area. I'd actually like to see my army down here, or perhaps here. The watchtower control with these spawns is entirely pointless because you can see, like, to here. You know, if we were cross spawn, it's the best place in the map to be. But because we're here, I kind of need to be controlling this area. Now, you saw me research Hallucinate, or I saw me research Hallucinate, and I've actually already done my flyover. I've seen the spire, so it's about time to start panicking. By the means of panicking, I mean building loads of pylons and cannons behind both of my expansions, just to make sure that when inevitably mutants do come, cannons everywhere, all the things. So there you go, 3 cannons in this base. It looks like 3 cannons in that base as well. So all the cannons, all the things. At the same time though, I have Double Forge researching 1 upgrade because I play like a top dollar pro. I have my Twilight Council coming through as well. And my opponent, at the same time, he has Glial Reconstruction, that's your roach speed there. He's got Missile Attacks 1 as well, and just a bunch of Zerglings. Again, he's just not caught up in his pro bleed. I've stopped making workers, but he is still making them, but at the same time, well, he's not making them now. At the same time, he's still quite behind in terms of his production. I've actually dropped my 3rd base. Now, I might perhaps have not mentioned that he's gone and dropped a sneaky 3rd base right at the bottom of the map. Personally, I'd have dropped it here, but whatever. He's also gone and dropped himself a macro hatch as well, so it kind of looks like he's ramping up for some aggression, but you might have noticed absolutely nothing is happening with the spire yet. I've noticed it too. Now, I've realised I have 2 forges, so I'm making a nice use of my chrono and my upgrades. I'm not using my chrono at all. I'm lying. There you go, weapons 2. Oh wow, did you see that? It was almost like I chroned my own buildings. Weapons 2, armor 1. We also have blink coming out. That's being chronoed as well. At the same time, I've started building some more probes because I'm going to need them. I'm going to have to start saturating this base. Now, Din is moving out with a little bulk of forces. Now it's mostly Ling and Roach, and it is 1 attack, 0 armor, Ling and Roach. Overseer does move into the map to see what's going on. The one down the bottom is also checking the front to try and get a gauge of my army supply. And there we go, Din with his speed is moving out and just runs all his lings almost into certain death. Waits for his roaches. Oh, we gotta go. Yep, and he goes straight in. At the same time, I've just gone and pulled all my sentries up to the back of my base. So sentry's kind of out of position. I wasn't able to force field off any of these roaches. Kind of running in, my zealots are completely fucking stuck behind all these stalkers. A terrible engagement for myself. At the same time though, I am keeping my macro up a little bit. I'm still building drones. I've just started researching charge, and I've just gone and pulled all my guys off the line. A couple of force fields to stop the roaches from escaping, and I'm just going to clean up the rest of the forces. I really should pull my workers back. There's far too many attacking forces. I don't really need workers in this fight anymore. I'm actually warping in another round of units as well. It's another round of stalkers. So, clean up the force, pop a guardian shield because I'm so manner like that, and it wasn't like I misclicked or anything. And there we go, workers back to the line. That's good to see. As a response, melee attacks level 1's coming now. I would have perhaps liked to have seen that at the same time as missile attacks. For his Zerglings, he might have done a little bit better. Also, a strange rally has brought 3 overlords down towards my base, but I don't think I've really noticed that. So one of them's going to die. I don't think these 2 are going to get killed though. So warping in more units, I've saturated this base quite nicely. Looking back at my main was, you know, about 100 minerals left in my main, and having a quick look, Din, he's making overlords, Absolutely nothing at his third at all. There's a little bit of a transfer going on there, that's 5 workers. Looking at his minerals, he's almost mined out at the top. My ball, I said ball. My ball is moving across towards his base as well. Now, if we have a quick look at my vision, you can see I've been quite good. See these L's around the map that I'm just indicating with my mouse? That's where I've been flying over with Hallucinated Phoenix, just to make sure that there isn't something sneaky going on. Fair enough, I'm not checking these 2 bases here and there, but at the same time, I am trying to make sure he's not expanded somewhere dodgy, but I haven't actually done one recently enough to see this base down here. Now, with a little bit of losing a lot of expensive units to just try and kill one overseer, I do see that this little push is coming, gives me time to try and cut it off with the bulk of my forces. And for some reason Din decides to pull back rather than run in there, giving me a terribly better position to attack him with. And then he runs in again with all of his lings. My force field placement is absolutely shocking. All his units get round anyway, but purely on upgrades when I'm now 2-1 compared to the 1-0 of Din, my little amount of forces absolutely crushes his large amount of roaches, and he's left having to retreat. Pushing away, now my charge just finishes and my little dudes start chasing after his slightly larger dudes. A little bit of kiting there from him, he's getting a couple of free zealot kills, but he will need to pull back a little bit further. I'm starting 3-2 at the moment, whereas Din's just pushing out more roaches, more roaches, more roaches. It's almost like, you know, with 1,900 gas, this spire and a transition into mutas wouldn't fucking kill me completely in seconds. Look at this. My highest mining super oversaturated mineral base has absolutely no defense. It's actually quite well saturated. 1 worker too many there. So yeah, perhaps a transition into mutas really would have helped Din here. I don't know whether he's forgotten that he has a spire. You might have noticed again, it's another macro hatch because he's not winning these engagements. I just warped in a whole bunch of zealots and ran them into death while killing these rocks. I don't know how quickly I thought I could kill rocks, but I warped in like 8 zealots and just let them die. I don't understand Din's logic. It's like, I don't have enough units, so if I build another macro hatch, I'll have more units. Now this is just silly. Gonna lose both of those, couple of force fields. Pull away, there we go, that's not so bad. At the same time, Din's all over the place, I'm not gonna lie. Have a quick look at units and you can see that I'm still ahead in the worker count. Excuse me, that was a bit of a hiccup there. I'm still ahead in the worker count. I'm looking at absolutely nothing. I'm kinda even on the army count though. And having a look at resources, we're even on workers killed. I've killed a little bit more units, and I'm sure there's a tab where I can look at how much money he's lost. There we go. I'm losing, but I have a better economy, so in the end I win. Hooray for Nosh! Hooray! Now, I've warped in a nice round of sentries. I can complain all I want that Din hasn't transitioned, but at the same time, I haven't really transitioned either. That's not what I'm trying to follow. I want to follow this guy, there we go. I've not really transitioned either. Din is still making this ball of units. I'm still making my ball of units, but just my balls are bigger than his balls, so I'm going to win. Now the path of these 2 phoenixes is going to spot this sneaky 3rd base. So now I'm aware that that exists. Because of that, Din decides the natural response to that is to just run his lings into certain death. I don't know whether this was an attempted run by, but running all of his lings into the bulk of my army, losing all of his lings, and then backing up with all of his roaches in a great concave, pulling them way into a very bad position, and then just letting them get picked apart by charge lots, doesn't seem like the best use of his forces. Now he is getting his level 2 and building another hatch sneakily in the corner, because, you know, why have 1 sneaky hatch when you can have 2? But as you see, a B line of zealots, or what's probably more like an L line of zealots, or maybe a J line of zealots, is just, it's gonna kill his fucking base. At the same time, the larger, more aggressive push is running up the stairs, or perhaps the ramp, and is coming in. Now, absolutely no micro is needed here. Maybe a couple of guardian shields would have been nice, or some force fields, or some hallucinated pajamas. I mean, anything would have been nice there. I am also, with my observer, killing any creep that I come across. Now, I am just about to kill this base, but I have decided another round of zealots, just to double kill his base, is essentially needed. But at this point, supply-wise, force field in the ramp is just bad manner. I have so many forces in his base. My army supply, 111 to his 6. The base falls downstairs. GG. Sorry, I was trying to be serious there, but then I said downstairs. The base falls. GG. No I just reset the whole thing. That's definitely not what I wanted. Stop it. Fix it. Oh well. I win. Yeah, Nosh wins his first game back. Now I promise you more content. I promise you more Quest to Gold. I promise you something different. Just keep watching, guys. I'm back. And I missed you so much. See you later.